Hi everyone, we're Travel with Johnny and Will, and yesterday we embarked upon our very first Royal Caribbean cruise, and this was on board Anthem of the Seas.
Yes, so this is cruise number 20 for us. And for this cruise, we asked our Instagram and Facebook followers to pick what cruise line we were going to cruise with, and we gave everybody a choice. And Royal Caribbean and Anthem of the Seas was that choice. So let's hope that you guys have made the right choice for us. So, having spent the night at the Travel Lodge in Southampton Central, we decided that we would walk to the city cruise terminal, where we would find Anthem of the Seas. So, we left our we left our room at obviously 12 o'clock checkout time, and we spent an hour just in the bar area, and we left just shortly after 1 o'clock, and it took around 20 minutes or so, and that was just at a gentle walk.
And like stop for a few pictures and stuff as
Yeah,
well.
and like I've got wee legs, and so it's not like a difficult or a long walk. So I would suggest if the day is nice, just walk it.
So we would be embarking Anthem of the Seas from the City Cruise Terminal, which is just the first terminal after you go through the gates next to Mayflower Park. Upon getting close to the actual doors, a kind lady had come over to us and said, "Oh, you traveling on Anthem?" And she then wrote out some luggage tags for us as she noticed that we didn't have any. And then because she wrote them out, it meant that we just had to go over to the drop off and literally just leave it with a person. We didn't have to queue again over there. That area over there for the queue was basically people that got dropped off over there because that's where the drop off zone was. Whereas we walked to the terminal, so we didn't have to.
Yeah, it was quite actually lucky because we didn't actually end up walking, because otherwise we would have had to stand in that queue for our names to be ticked off, then to be given luggage tags. So
Like, it probably would have taken longer if we got a taxi.
yeah, it would have. So after we dumped our bags off, we went straight into the terminal building. Again, all the staff there, were very helpful, pointing us in the right direction, etc. And we made our way through security first. And once we then got through security, it was into the check-in hall. And obviously, we had done our check-in online with Royal Caribbean on their app. There's a health form to fill in, which has to be done, I think, 24 hours before departure. And then like your passport details and things needs inputted, and then your credit card needs registered. So they're all things that you can do before you go. And then basically on your phone you're given a like boarding sort of pass in order then to get onto the ship.
Yeah, and that boarding pass can be saved to your Apple Wallet in the same way that airline boarding passes can be saved. And that's actually the only thing we showed that lady. Along with our passports, and that was the check-in process done.
Yeah.
And from the moment we chatted to the lady about the luggage tags to the time I took the first picture on board, it was 15 minutes.
Yeah, just
So
about.
at every zone, there was people telling us where to go, and everything was, just happening, constantly. There was no breaks. It was just moving the
It was
whole
really
time.
smooth, so it was.
Yeah, really smooth.
We did actually arrive slightly ahead of our embarkation time. We had a time of 2:30, and I think by the time we walked here, it was about 1:35 or thereabouts. We didn't really realise how long the walk was going to take us, so we were early. But again, it was no issue.
No.
I do think they were just sort of glad to see that there was people there, and the passengers were sort of just trickling through, in order to get everybody on board for 4 o'clock.
So when we got on board, I must say it didn't really have much of a fanfare about it. There was like a balloon arch, but when you
Were you written on trumpets sounding?
no, but I mean, and I think it was deck 5, so we were at the space nearly where the Bionic bar was, but I don't think we could see the Royal
Esplanade.
Esplanade. Yeah, so definitely just getting on board, it didn't feel like, like when you get on MSC and you see the big screen and you think, wow, this is big and amazing. So it didn't really have that effect on us. Anyhow, we went straight to muster as we had already watched the safety videos as required of us to do so on the app. So we knew from our app that our muster station was in the Royal Theatre, so we went straight away to there and got that over and done with.
It's always sort of great just to get the muster done, and I think what I did like about Royal Caribbean so far is the fact that on their app you get those notifications to say, watch the safety video, listen to like the emergency alarm sound, and it sort of meant that that part was already done, as opposed to having to wait on a lot of other cruise lines where you have to go to your cabin, watch a video. Sometimes you have to dial a number,
Yeah.
and things like that. So I thought it was a lot slicker, if you know what I mean, just to get all that done and out of the road.
So after this, we went up to deck 12 to check out our cabin for the week. Upon arrival to your cabin door, above your room number, there's a little envelope, and within that envelope is your cruise card. Now, Royal Caribbean don't call this a cruise card, they call it a sea pass. So you will hear them chatting about sea pass, and on the app it'll say sea pass, and you might be thinking, what's a sea pass? It's just your cruise card. So first impressions of the cabin, I think we both came in, we were very surprised by the length of the cabin. It seems to have a lot of length. Like, and then the cabin door opens outwards, which sort of just gives you that feeling of more space, I think, because you don't have a door in the way when you're first coming through. Yeah, so I think we were both very impressed with the size of the cabin and the length of it, and also the depth of the balcony that they provided, because it's definitely one of the deepest we've had that is still a standard balcony. But at this stage, we just wanted to grab our sea passes and go and explore and try and get somewhere to eat.
Yeah, so after dumping our bags, we went on to the Royal Caribbean app on our phones, to look at what restaurants were open, and there's actually a section on the app where it's just like it just says, sort of says hungry now, and it's like a tab and it shows you everywhere that's opened, and for every venue it tells you where it's located. So we decided then that the nearest place to us to eat was actually up in the Seaplex, which is up on deck 15. So we went up there, and basically there is a, oh, what's the way to describe it? Nearly like a van, like a hot dog van, where the front
Yeah.
of it's outside and the back end of it's inside. It's quite quirky, and we had really nice hot dogs there for lunch.
Yeah, so it's called the Seaplex Doghouse, which is quite a funny name actually. Um, and yeah, they're sort of like the Frankfurter sausages, but I must say this was the nicest Frankfurter type sausage I've ever had. And then in addition to that, there's a little drink station, and there's also one of the Coca-Cola freestyle machines, which brings us on to our next point about we had purchased a drinks package prior to getting on board through the app, and we were obviously wanting to, have a soft drink through the machine. But the guy at the doghouse told us to go to the buffet, which was the Windjammer, which was on deck 14. So we decided to make our way there after having a nice hot dog.
Yeah, so basically, there are like there is like water and things there that you can just drink, but in the freestyle machine, you need a special cup, which has like a chip inside it, in order to work the machine. So you just don't think you see these sort of freestyle machines and think, oh, I can just grab any old cup, and then have a free drink. That's not the case. And the reason why we purchased the soda package was because we'd looked at prices of drinks online, for Royal Caribbean, and we sort of just thought that, especially during the day, if we're drinking a lot of sort of soft drinks, or even just like sort of water or flavored water, or things like that, that we would end up sort of spending quite a bit of money, on soft drinks alone before we'd even buy an alcoholic one. And so, like our last cruise, we decided to go for this soda package, and then we would just purchase drinks as and when we wanted them. So we went down to the Windjammer, which is on deck 14, and We were sort of a wee bit taken back actually. Well, I was whenever I first went in. It was really busy for a start, but oh my goodness, the amount of like food, and it looked like really well presented food, like compared to most buffets on a cruise ship.
It was good, yeah.
Now because we already had a hot dog, like Will just had like a fruit plate, and I had a little salad, because we were still a wee bit peckish, and but it was really really nice, and even like I say, just the way it like laid out. But there is a little guy sort of standing with a table in the Windjammer, and he was obviously trying to sell people drinks packages, but because we had already purchased one, we just really wanted our cups. So yeah, we got our cups, and then we were able to use our freestyle machines.
So after I had my little fruit plate, I spotted the dessert station, which was just to the right of where we were sitting. And on the dessert station, they actually had cookies. I think they had oatmeal and raisin, chocolate, and like a coconut one.
Coconut one, yeah.
No, I had the oatmeal and raisin. I thought these cookies were probably the best cookies I've ever had.
Oh,
They were so good.
nice,
I
yeah.
actually think I had 3
You
in the
did.
one go.
Yeah.
They were really good. Yeah, so check out the cookies. Definitely.
So after our snack and had our cool drinks, we then headed to check out the Vitality Spa and Salon. We always do this on the first day, and quite often spas will give you a bit of a free tour around, because obviously it's their chance at first to meet you and to try and sell you something. And we're always open, like to either purchasing a pass for a thermal suite or maybe going for a treatment depending on what there is available. And we went to the spa, and there wasn't really as many staff there as what
No,
we
there-
have sort of been
there
used to on other
wasn't.
cruise lines. Normally, whenever you go to like a spa reception or a cruise line, like staff swarm around you to sort of be like, "Oh, I'll show you around, and what can I get you?" And wasn't really like that here. So we ended up like showing ourselves round, and sort of taking a little look inside the relaxation room, and then there was like a thermal suite area which had like a sauna and steam room.
And
There
a shower and like those heated wave chairs,
Yeah, there wasn't a
hydrotherapy,
hydrotherapy
no.
pool or any kind of spa sort of pool area. So
There was an awful lot of just individual treatment rooms
Yeah.
then down the other side. So it's likely we might not be visiting the spa on this cruise.
unless I really want a massage or something like that, probably not.
Oh, there was a salon and like where you would get your nails done or your hair done or something like that.
You're trying to say I need another haircut?
No.
So we had a quick visit there, and then we headed outside because we noticed the Sky Princess had pulled away from its berth, so we decided to go out on deck and say hi to Sky, or in our case say bye to Sky, and to wave them off. And we're actually on Sky Princess this time next year for a group cruise that Paul and Carol Love to Travel are organising.
So after this, we went down to deck 5 to the aft, as I wanted to see the views that we could experience from 270. Now 270 is at the aft, and it's one of the like night venues on board. But surprisingly, there is a bar that was in the corner of this space, and also there is a cafe.
Now we'd already eaten enough,
Yeah.
So we just grabbed drinks and sat just and looked out the aft,
Yeah, it was just
and
really pretty,
it was
yeah.
really really pretty. So we're looking forward to getting back there on an evening to check out what the evening shows and the evening entertainment is like there. So after some time up in 270, we returned to our cabin as we were due to sail away ourselves, and so we used that time to get acquainted with our cabin, film our cabin tour, which we will put a link in the description below and on screen. And as well as that, our bags had arrived. So for anybody that follows us, we always like to get unpacked as soon as the bags arrive, just so that we know that we're settled into our new home for the week, and our holiday can really start then.
So now it was close to what we would describe as our dinner time, and as we had booked my time dining, we went onto the app in order to check if we needed to book a slot within our allocated restaurant. It said on the app that the my time dining was on deck 4, which is the American Icon Grill and the Silk Restaurant. So we went onto the app, and the earliest time that we could get on the app was quarter past 8. And we thought, what on earth is going on? This isn't going to suit us. We need our time, my time dining. So,
and also at that point we had also then looked and thought, oh, maybe we've left it too late to book a table tonight. So then we tried to book a table for the rest of the cruise.
And then they were like 8 was the earliest thing we got. So we just thought, well, this is not going to suit us. So we got dressed and we went down. And basically, when we got there, it was like there was a line for reservations and non-reserved. And we just went to the non-reserved, set our cabin number, and we were taken in straight away for a 2-seater table, which was great.
Which I don't understand why the information on the app and everything made it so confusing, because it looked as though we weren't allowed to go to the dining room until 7:15, because it said that's what time the restaurant opened.
Oh, that's right. It said that was 7:15 was the opening time.
So we were kind of like, well, how's that my time? Because clearly 7:15 is your time.
And also, if you were on regular dining, the MDR for those customers opened at like 5:30 or something. So it really felt like we weren't my time.
Yeah. So dinner last night, we both had for starters the tomato soup, and it was really hot. Served to us, and came quite quickly.
Yeah. It was really nice that you could tell it had been made quite fresh. The tomatoes were fresh.
Yeah. And then for my main, I really just wanted like a plain sort of chicken dinner. So basically last night whenever we stayed in Southampton, I really wanted like a roast dinner, and I didn't get it, so I got it tonight. So I just asked for the grilled chicken breast fillet, and it came with little roasted potatoes and veg and some gravy, and it was lovely.
Did you get roasted potatoes of yours? Yeah, so I had the chicken and leek pie, and it just came with seasonal vegetables, so it didn't have any type of potato, which I thought was, well, coming from Northern Ireland, we love potatoes of everything. So
yeah,
for me it was a little bit
chipped, mashed, fried, or whatever.
But for me it was a little bit odd that there wasn't even a type of potato served with it. But to be fair, the actual pie itself was packed with meat, so I didn't really need to worry about getting those chips in as well.
No. And we actually, after eating it, sort of looked at each other and we're like, do you feel like really like full? We sort of, because obviously we've recently returned from another cruise, and we found that here the portion size that was served to us was a lot bigger.
It was definitely bigger, yeah.
So literally by the time we finished our main, we were quite full. But of course you always try and make room for dessert. And we both actually ordered the peanut butter and caramel bar. I wasn't fussed on it.
It was very peanut buttery and very little caramel.
And very dry.
It was dry.
Yeah. Do you want to know something? Do you know whenever you get a really nice dessert and you're really already full, but you always find room to like force feed yourself the dessert because it's so nice, and you
both didn't finish it. I don't think. No,
that wasn't that kind of dessert. But yeah. It was a gluten-free option, so for anybody who's gluten-free, this is what you could have. But it wasn't for me. But anyway, I'd already eaten plenty. Basically, as it was our first night, we really, on our first night, just sort of like go from venue to venue and like literally have a drink and then go. We don't really invest much time in a certain place just because we sort of want to sort of see different areas. And whenever we came out of the restaurant, it was really busy in the hallway, so we're kind of like, rather than going through the crowds, we decided to go up a flight of stairs and then exit that way. So we were glad we did, because we then stumbled across the music hall, and we got a seat at the bar, and we actually just commented that at the time that this is sort of like the first time we've been able to, or the first time we've really sat at a bar at night time on a cruise since before the pandemic, and we used to always love sitting at a bar.
Yeah, I think though especially on recent cruises, it's almost like if you sit at the bar, you're not going to get served because the bar staff are making the drinks for the waiters.
Yeah.
And the waiters are pulling orders from the floor. Whereas we just sat there and the guy was like, oh, can I get you something? And it was just really
It was nice.
easy and nice, yeah. Without having to think, oh, will I sit at the bar? Am I going to get served?
Or am I in anybody's way?
Yeah,
You know.
it was nice, actually.
And then within about 5 or 10 minutes then a live band had started, and they were really good. There wasn't that many people in the bar actually at that time because again most people were still having their dinner, but as we sort of finished those drinks and moved on, there have been more people that had come out of the dining areas then to flock to there. But the band were really good. They were just playing some really nice chilled out tunes.
So after this, we went to the Royal Esplanade just to have a little look in the shops. As we had sailed away, that meant the shops were opened. So we just wanted to see what the offering was. And we did eye up the Anthem of the Seas ship model, though we haven't purchased it yet. But yeah, we were in that shop looking at the ship model and also looking at the Royal Caribbean branded gear as well.
Also as well, there is, for anybody that a lot of people would ask us, is there duty free? You know, can you buy things like alcohol and tobacco and cigarettes? And yes, our last cruise that we did, they were nearly hidden in a way. But here out on the Esplanade, they had the cigarettes and the booze and things like that all sitting on tables. So as we walked in through the Esplanade, we made our way to Bolero's.
So Bolero's is just a little bar off the Royal Esplanade, and tonight there was a little Latin band in playing all like little Spanish tunes. Spanish, right, isn't it?
They were called Sabroso, and they were really kicking ass with their tunes. That's actually one of the things we love about going on like MSC ships is you will get a different sort of type of entertainment and variety of music styles. So we really loved that wee pub, and again we just sat at the bar, no problem at all getting a seat there, and had another little drink in that bar before making our way then somewhere else.
Yeah, so we wanted to catch the first theatre show, and this was the Royal Theatre Welcome Show. I don't really know what to say about it. I didn't think it was that great.
It was a letdown.
It was a letdown, yeah.
Yeah. I think so basically it was a 50-minute show, and basically there was 3 songs sang, and then there was a comedian, and then the cruise director was there. Cruise director seems like a lovely lady from Nottinghamshire here in the UK. But a lot of talking, and I just sort of thought
so much talking.
between her and the singers then did talking, and then the comedian. For those of you who watch our channel, Will doesn't really like comedians that much. Sometimes I just find, even me personally, I just find some comedians are hit and miss. And I just sort of thought that, you know, this is day one. You know, this is our first night on the cruise. For a lot of people, it's their first ever experience of a cruise. But everybody's excited, everybody's fired up, yay, we're at sea, and it's like 50 minutes of sitting there listening to about how many people was there? There was 2 singers, the cruise director, the comedian. So what's that? 4 people? 4 people telling us to have a great cruise, and that there was lots to do on this cruise.
Yeah, it definitely would have been a lot better if it would have been a variety show in terms of having singers, having dancers, having an aerial artist.
Bring the comedian on.
You know,
but just allow him on for 5 minutes and get him off. Because realistically,
in terms of being action packed, it was not action packed at all.
Put it this way, we really are hopeful that the rest of the entertainment is going to be better, and we really hope so. Afterwards, by this point it was about 11 o'clock. We had been up early that day, and we were a bit tired, so we did decide then that we were going to go to Sorrento's, because whenever we come out of the theatre, We were walking along the Esplanade and we came across Sorrento's. So we decided to go in there and we had a slice of pizza, got a soft drink, and then headed back to the cabin. But the pizza, like, wow.
Yeah, the pizza was good. And right next to Sorrento's is a Cafe Promenade, and it's opened basically 24 hours a day. And they serve little sandwiches, also your hot drinks, iced tea, lemonade, and cookies and things like that. So
So it's always good, like, if you're just wanting, like, on the way back to your cabin, you're just looking a little nibble before going to bed.
So that was our first day on board, Anthem of the Seas. If you liked this video, please consider giving us a thumbs up down below. And don't forget to click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.